Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain. We're here for part 2 of spoiler season for Crimson Vow, and man, is it exciting. I haven't even looked at all the cards yet, just clipped some photos, hadn't read any of them, so we're gonna see this and view this together as one. So, tray tables and seat backs in your full upright position as we take off today into spoiler season number 2. And remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, tell your friends and family, get some views on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And if you'd like to support the channel, check out the description. There's stuff you can buy. There's a link to the eBay store and my email for the store. If you need anything, feel free to hit me up. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. So, without further ado, let's check out some cards. So, our first spoiler here is we have Geralf, the Visionary Stitcher. It almost is like Gisa sitting there, but anyway. We have a blue and 2 for 1/4. Zombies you control have flying, so that's going to be very good with the decaying zombies. A blue tap, sacrifice another non-token creature, create an XX blue zombie creature token, where X is sacrifice creature's toughness. That's pretty cool. This seems like a pretty good blue card. Definitely going to be really good in sealed and draft, only because when things get locked down, you can sacrifice them into real creatures that can fight. And those zombies don't have decay. Same thing kind of for standard and commander. So I think this will probably be a pretty decent card, probably around $5, I believe, at best. Next here we have the Dormant Grove, which is an enchantment for 4. Beginning of your combat, on your turn, put +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then if that creature has toughness 6 or greater, toughness mind you, you transform the Grove and it becomes Vigilance. Other creatures you control have Vigilance, and it's at 3/6. Decent uncommon. Um, Probably will only be good in draft and sealed, but probably will be a powerhouse in those formats. Next here we have whatever this says, Sewer Stalker. Okay, so we have the Sewer Stalker. Uh, it's a blue and 3 creature spirit. Sewer Stalker can't be blocked while attacking alone. All right. It's a 3/3. It's disturbed, which turns into Gutter Shortcut, where enchanted creature cannot be blocked if it attacks alone. So again, this is one of those kind of slash equipment cards or enchantments that happen when they become disturbed. So it's all right. Probably gonna be great in drafts, sealed. I don't think it's to see anything outside of that though. I'll be honest with you. Moving right along, we have the Mind Leech Ghoul. Interesting, great picture, like just straight out of a horror movie. A black and 1 for a 2/2 zombie. That's pretty good. Has exploit. When it exploits a creature, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. Wow. This seems really good for a common. I think it's gonna be great in draft and sealed. I don't think it's gonna be that good in standard because there's not a lot of stuff that you get for exploiting cards, unless you guys have seen my different versions of my black red deck. You can check it out. Jadar, who makes zombie tokens every turn. I mean, you start exploiting those instead of swinging with them, and you can just exile stuff out of people's hands and yada yada. Maybe that's a thing. We'll have to take a look and see when we get more time with it. Moving right along. Next, we have Halana and Alana partners. Uh, Green, red, and 2 for a 2/3. Legendary creature, human rangers. They have first strike and reach. Even for 4 mana, that's still not good enough. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. Excuse me, I'm tired. Where X is their power, that creature gains haste till end of turn. All right, so it's gonna give X +2 +1. It's gonna give X +1/+1 counters on another target creature. Um, this thing's going to be amazing, I think. Only because, yeah, for 4 mana, it's only 2/3. It does have first strike and reach, so it's pretty good. It's a decent defender, but just the ability for it to pump counters onto other creatures is phenomenal. It's going to be great in draft and sealed. This may even find a home in standard, but I don't think it's going to go any further than that, to be honest with you, sadly. Moving along, next we have Concealing Curtains, because that's what it looks like it says, right? So for 1 black, we have a creature wall defender. It's 0/4. For a black and 2, you can transform the curtains as a sorcery, which turns into Revealing Eye, which is creepy as hell. It's an eye horror with menace, 3/4. Okay. When this creature transforms, target opponent reveals their hand. Choose a non-land card from it. If you do, that player discards that card, then draws a card. Okay, not terrible. This will definitely be somewhat playable just because it has the ability early game to stop aggro decks, and then late game on turn 3 become a 3/4 start killing aggro creatures while taking a card out of their hand that may be troublesome. This might see some play. Definitely probably Commander. It'll be great in draft and limited. But Standard, we're probably going to have to wait and see, but it looks like it might be pretty good to me. Moving right along. Next, we have the Voice of the Blessed. Seems pretty cool card. So 2 white, we have a Creature Spirit Cleric. Say that 5 times fast. Every time you gain 1 or more life, put a +1/+1 counter on Voice of the Blessed. Oh, it's a Johnny's Pride mate. Okay. As long as Voice of the Blessed has 4 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has Flying and Vigilance. Oh, God. As long as it has 10 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has Indestructibles. Okay, so this thing's busted. This is like a Johnny's Pride mate that becomes a Sarah Angel after 2 counters of gaining life. I think this is going to be this is easily a $5 card. It's going to find its way into a lot of the mono white decks. Also because, there's the 2 white, the white and the colorless creature currently in the mono white deck that puts counters on other creatures, which means you don't have to gain life. You can just put counters on it and just make it bigger. Especially with green, and there's the green ones that puts counters and gives fights. Like, this might be good in a white-green deck too. This has lots of potential, guys. This is easily a $5 card, I think. Lots of potential. Great in sealed draft, definitely standard. It might even see some modern play, but I doubt it. We have the Archduke of Raven, a black and 2 for a 3/2. Whenever the Archduke of Raven or another zombie you control dies, look at the top card of your library. If it's a zombie card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't put that card into your hand, you may put it into the graveyard. This thing seems phenomenal. Being able to have draw like this without a drawback of spending life, especially in a zombie deck, just seems really busted. I think it's going to be a great card, definitely in draft and sealed, and I think this has some definite standard possibilities. And you Commander guys probably like this card a lot too, to be honest with you. Moving right along, the Hallowed Haunting. So for 2 white and 2, we have a Mythic enchantment, pretty nice. As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have Flying and Vigilance. Interesting. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white Spirit Cleric creature token with this creature's power and toughness is equal to the number of spirits you own. Oh, wow. So this, I think, is going to be a big card in enchantment decks. Especially with all the creatures that once they become disturbed, they become enchantments. Not to mention other enchantment decks in the format. This could be a great commander card. I'm not sure how great it's going to be in sealed and draft because I don't think there's enough enchantments to go around. But I think this will be a powerhouse, and I think it'll probably be around $10 card, honestly, at minimum. All right, next here we have Donhartgeist, a white and 1 for 1/3. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 2 life. I.e., goes with the other card. All right, so I definitely see a spirit enchantment theme going on here. Seems all right. Path of Peril. So this is the one everybody's been talking about. It's 2 black and 1. Destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less. If you cleave it for white, black, and 4, which is a lot, you just get to destroy all creatures. But it is a new wrath. It does work on both sides of the spectrum. Early game, you ain't got to worry about having 6 mana because you can just cast it for 3 because early game you're going to kill anything that's 2 value or less, which is what you're really worried about early game. And then late game, you can actually power it up to get all the other stuff. So it's going to be a great standard card, great draft and limited, but really nothing else. And I don't think it's going to be very valuable. Probably $2-3 tops. All right, we have a Mythic Dragon again. So Mana Form Hellkite, 2 red and 2 for a 4/4 flyer. Already an amazing rate. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX red dragon illusion token with flying and haste, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. Exile that token at the beginning of the next end step. Oh man, this seems really good, guys. Like this with removal spells, especially in red. I think this is gonna really make a lot of dragon decks very possible. Because it says non-creature spells, so like you can cast artifacts, enchantments, doesn't matter. It's all gonna make dragons that's gonna punch people in the face. So yeah, I think it's a powerhouse. I think this thing's easily gonna be around 15-20 bucks. Oh, great and limited, by the way. and probably some standard play, but that's probably about it. I mean, Commander's going to love this thing because, yeah, dragons. So, moving on. All right, next here we have the Soul Cold Tablet, which is a blue and a colorless artifact, uncommon. When tablet enters the battlefield with it enters the battlefield with 3 omen counters on it. Whenever a creature card is put into your graveyard, remove 1 omen counter from the tablet. Then transform it if there are no counters. When you transform it, it becomes a spirit code-bound geist that has flying. Can only block creatures with flying. And for a blue and 3, you draw 2 cards, discard a card. That seems pretty good. Still, um, hmm. What does this say? Huh. I don't know what that says. Maybe that removes soul counters? I don't know. Well, anyway, it's an uncommon. It's probably going to be good in draft, but that's probably the only place it's going to be really worth a damn. Moving on. All right, we have Witness the Future. So we have a blue and 2 sorcery. Uncommon, choose target player and up to 4 target cards in their graveyard. That player shuffles those cards into their library. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom library in random order. Wow. I don't think it's good. It's going to be fine in draft. That's probably going to be about it. But wow, is this thing just confusing? I mean, I guess you can put your own stuff in your graveyard and then shuffle, and still it's 3 mana. It's blue. Definitely in draft and sealed because you got time for stuff like this. That's probably the only place it's going to see play. Maybe Commander. All right, guys. We have Revenant Stormkirk. Looks like a black-blue 1 for a 1/4 vampire cleric. When he enters the battlefield, put up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If that creature has a mana value of 6 or greater revealed this way, you transform him, and he becomes a 3/5 flyer, Lord of the Deep, that creates a tapped and attacking top token that's a copy of another target creature that's attacking. If that creature is a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent, create 2 of those tokens instead. Seems like you're doing a lot to get this thing going. But 3 mana for a 3/5 with flying? I mean, I've seen worse. Obviously going to be great in draft and limited. Probably even commander. I don't think this is going to be a thing for standard though. So next year we have, there it is, Chandra Dressed to Kill. So we have a 3 mana planeswalker again. It's a mythic. And I don't know if they haven't learned yet, but 3 mana planeswalkers tend to be a problem. So anyway, this is 2 red and 1 for 3 loyalty. +1, you add a red. Chandra Dressed to Kill deals 1 damage up to 1 target player or planeswalker. The other +1, exile top card of your library. If it's red, you may cast it this turn. Exile -7, exile top 5 cards of your library. You may cast red spells from among them. This turn, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a red spell, this emblem deals X damage to any target, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast these spells. This seems really powerful. I think this is definitely going to be a thing. Um, Especially in like mono red decks or red blue. This is easily a $20 planeswalker, I think, guys. Obviously, it's going to be great in draft, sealed, limited. Going to be great in standard. I don't think it's going to find anything outside of that other than commander, only because double red and what it does really isn't good enough because all the modern decks and stuff just have so many colors in them, you can't guarantee it's going to be red when you +1 it. But that's my personal opinion, so we'll see how it plays out. Moving on, we have Torrens, the Fist of the Angels, a green, white, and 1 for a 2/2. Has training, which once again, if something attacks with bigger power than it, gets +1/+1 counter. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green and white human soldier creature token with training. That's disgusting. So as long as he's on the field and you attack with your 1/1s, they all become 2/2s. Yeah, this guy is just a busted rare. Great and sealed in draft. Probably gonna see tons of standard play. I don't think he's gonna see anything outside of that though. Maybe some commander shenanigans, but I just don't think he's good enough for anything past modern. and not good enough for modern either. So moving on. Skulking Killer. So for a black and 3, we get a 4/2. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 to end a turn if that opponent controls no other creatures. So it only does it if they have one creature, basically. Okay, so I mean that's fine, I guess. It's still 4 mana for a 4/2, which is fine. Um, it's gonna be great in sealed and draft, but that's really the only time this thing's gonna shine. And even then, it's gonna be iffy. So be careful if you play this thing. Moving on, we have the Alchemist Gambit. So for 2 red and 1, take an extra turn after this one. During that turn, damage can't be prevented, and at the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. Exile the Alchemist's Gambit. Now, it has Cleave, so you can take your Time Walk for free and not lose the game for 7 mana. Um, so I think this is going to be a good card. It should have been a Mythic, honestly. It will probably see play and be worth money in older formats because there's things like Time Vault and stuff where you can cast a Gambit, eat it with a Time Vault, then get it out of the Time Vault for free, and all kinds of things like that. Um, so yeah, easily $5. Probably gonna be more. Probably should have been a Mythic. But yeah, probably won't see a whole lot of play though in limited and draft. And maybe not even a standard, just because it's a little hard to use. Not enough shenanigans going around. But we'll really have to wait and see if someone breaks it. So, because it does say Time Walk. Just saying. We have Dread Fatigue. So for 1 black, target player reveals their hand. You choose an online card from it with mana value 2 or less, and that player discards a card. So it's almost like an Inquisition. But you can cleave it for 3, where you can actually take any card. I think this is going to be really big in the new standard format, just because early game, if you know you're up against something small, well, I mean, for one, on the first turn for black, you can look at their hand, take whatever you can, and then later ones that you draw for 3, you can take anything. Like, it's a better Thoughtseize, or a better Inquisition of Kolzak, I guess I should say. It's going to be great in limited and draft. It's going to be great in standard, and this might even see modern play, especially even Pioneer play. It's just got so much going for it. This seems like a great uncommon. So that's all we got for the day, boys and girls. Thanks a lot for coming along with me. We've seen some very powerful cards today. Thanks for your time, and as always, until tomorrow we get more spoilers. Remember, until next time, be kind. This is your captain speaking, and hopefully I'll see you at the pre-release across from the game table.